Hi everybody, my name is Hoàng Mai, the founder and main English teacher at 4P English Center. Welcome to my free videos. Today I'm not talking about how to study English or how to master English because mastering a language takes time. Even a native speaker cannot know everything about the language. However, in order to communicate in English, you just need a year, 9 months, or 6 months, depending on the method you use, how much effort you make, the sacrifice and time you take. In fact, Vietnamese learners can understand and read documents in English very well, but listening and speaking English is a big challenge for them. I don't remember how many times my students ask me the same question. What is the best way to improve my English listening and speaking? Many students have sent me emails to talk about their problems and difficulties. I'm quoting here. Number 1. I have been learning English for 10 years. My grammar is good, but I can't speak English. I always feel that my vocabulary is not good enough. So I can't express my ideas or respond to what native speakers say quickly. Number 2. I can read documents, books, or magazines in English, but I have a serious problem understanding what native speakers say. It seems that they speak very quickly. I can't catch their words and meaning. Number 3. I have a trouble speaking and listening. Is being able to speak a language related to how smart we are, or do we need an aptitude for a language? If you have been watching this video, you have the same problems, don't you? You have tried to improve your listening and speaking in vain, haven't you? Actually, I myself had a hard time struggling with speaking and listening at my university. So I understand what problems you are facing. After teaching English for many years, I would really like to share with you a simple method which is the best way to help you improve your listening and speaking skill. First of all, you need to understand that being able to speak a language is not related to how smart you are or if you have an aptitude for it or not. The most important thing here is that you must follow a right method. Like swimming, if you don't have a good method, you can't swim well or fast. Especially in the busy world nowadays, a correct method which can help you to save time is really important. Now, I'm really happy because my students are satisfied with this method. The most wonderful thing is that they don't have to spend too much time studying, but they still can remember new words easily, and they are more confident to communicate and have a bigger motivation to learn English every day. I call my method 4P. Why do I call it 4P? You should watch all videos carefully because what I'm explaining in this is a gold mine. Now, I'm going to talk about the first P. I always ask my students the same question. Do you like English? Because there is a paradox that most people want to speak English well, but they don't like English. They regard to study English as a duty, a must. This is the biggest challenge because you can't do anything well if you don't enjoy it. If we use English without enjoying it, you can't improve it. So now you should change your mind. Try to learn how to enjoy English. Actually, I myself always loved English, even when I couldn't speak it well or people laughed at me. And I recognize that passion is one of the keys to improving my spoken English. This sounds simple, but based on hundreds of interviews and his personal experience, Richard St. John suggests that passion is one of the key drivers of success.
The 8 traits successful people have in common. Number 1, passion. Successful people love what they do. When I asked Russell Crowe what led to his Academy Award for Best Actor, he said, "The bottom line is I love the actual job of acting. I have a great passion for it." Successful people in all fields love what they do, whether it's astrophysicist Jamie Matthews, author J.K. Rowling, or athlete Michael Phelps. And not just big names. Margaret McMillan, a history professor, says, "I spent my life doing what I love." Carlos, a bus driver I sit with at Starbucks, says, "I love what I do. I've only missed 3 days in 4 years."
We can't be successful if we don't inspire and motivate ourselves, because the energy in our life comes from our emotions and feelings, not from our intellect. Actually, nothing in your life will be excellent or even very good if you don't have a passion for it. The passion drives everybody. It's the fuel for progress. It's like the gasoline for your engine. It is what motivates you to study harder. Just compare the energy you had when you met the love of your life. That is going to give you much energy. It's exactly the same in learning a language. Passion will give you the energy to get to where you want to be and make you do things that otherwise you wouldn't do. We can see there are a lot of good examples of highly successful people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, or other famous people who accomplished their goal because of their strong passion, although they were very ordinary at the beginning. Let flame of passion wake up the extraordinary person inside you. So regard studying English as your hobby, your passion, because nothing great in the world has ever been accomplished without passion. So if you are asked, what is your passion in your life? I hope you will say, I have a great passion for English. Okay, you've just watched a video in which a girl couldn't play the violin at the beginning. But with the flame of passion, She made all the audience still to listen, and the melodies of her violin touched their heart. If you perform like her, then you need to pursue your passion to the end. Because when we start to do something or learn something, we are usually very motivated and very enthusiastic. But after a period of time, it is easy to lose your passion because what we've learned, we already know basic communication. But there is still lots to learn if we want to be fluent. So, how can we keep the flame of passion burning all the time? Okay, this is the second P I would like to share with you. Purpose. You need to have a clear purpose for learning English. Now, let me show you this clearly. Firstly, you need to sit down in a chair and take a few minutes to really reflect on how important it is if you can't speak English. Having done that, I suggest you now, in order to make your purpose visible, you need to have long-term, middle-term, and short-term plans. First, for your long-term plan, which is very easy to make, take out a piece of paper and write down all the reasons why you want to speak English well. These are all the good reasons that contribute to you finding what are your main drivers, the reasons that provide the zing. Think of the doors that will open to you: new foreign friends, better career, nice travel, be respected, and etc. Secondly, for your middle-term plan, analyze what your current level is and then decide where you want to be 9 months or 6 months from now. Lastly, for your short-term plan, which is the most important, and decide whether you will be successful or not. You need to make a daily, weekly, and monthly plan. You must follow all these plans. For example, you have to practice speaking every day. Take every opportunity to speak English. Even 5 minutes is fine. Remember to do that every day, every day, every day. If you don't listen to something in English today, if you don't speak English today, never go to sleep. You have to make yourself follow this rule. If you are tired or too busy, at least you have to watch a funny English movie or sing an English song. When you can do like this, I strongly believe that you have a big motivation to maintain your passion. Another important thing here is that when you start to learn English, you have to believe that you can speak English well. Because many students are always pessimistic with themselves. They talk to themselves, "I'm very bad at English." This just makes you lose your confidence and feel discouraged. Change the way you think about yourself, because how others see you is not important. How you see yourself means everything. Do you know that Einstein couldn't read until he was 7? The famous Austrian musical composer Mozart was said that he didn't have any taste for music. And no one thought that dropout Bill Gates could become a billionaire. And now a lot of people can speak English well with lots of effort and passion. So let the status, "I can do it," "I can speak English," "I feel great when I learn English," everywhere you can say it. This is an effective way to inspire and motivate yourself to the end. If you already have a strong passion and clear purpose, what are we going to do next? Maybe you often get the advice, practice. This is also the third P. Yes, the advice is not wrong, but how to practice the right way and what we should practice to get the good result is the important thing. So you have to recognize what mistake you're making. The answer will be in the following short video in which I had an interesting talk with an experienced native English speaking teacher. Now please watch the video. Hi Rick, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you, Mai.
With your extensive experience in teaching English in Vietnam, you can see that Vietnamese learners have difficulties communicating with native speakers. Can you please let me know the reason why and which is the biggest thing that native speakers notice when non-native speakers are speaking English? Is it the vocabulary, the grammar, or the pronunciation?
Pronunciation is definitely the biggest thing native speakers notice when you are speaking English. Good pronunciation should be one of the first things that you learn in English. You can live without advanced vocabulary. You can use simple words to say what you want to say instead. You can live without advanced grammar. You can use simple grammar structures instead. But there's no such thing as simple pronunciation. If you don't have good pronunciation, you have bad pronunciation. And the consequences of bad pronunciation are tragic.
How tragic? Can you please give us some examples?
Yes, it is. Even if you use correct grammar, people may simply not understand what you want to say. For example, if you pronounce large like la, no ending sound, it would be hard for somebody to understand exactly what you want to say. If you pronounce a word like heart and say hurt instead, native speakers will have some serious problems understanding you. Or, if you are not careful with the word sit, it may become a bad language. In my opinion, you should know how to say English sounds like a and j before you even learn these words, even sit.
Thank you very much. Okay, through the above talk, you should now know that the most important thing in spoken communication is good pronunciation. Your pronunciation or mispronunciation is definitely the biggest thing that native speakers notice when they are speaking English with you. In order to understand more about it, I'm going to show you two more examples. Please listen to this sentence. Can you hear that? I already played it 10 times, but my students couldn't catch all the words and meaning. Now please check the transcript.
Milk in their tea. It doesn't even taste like tea anymore.
I'm sure you know all the words of this sentence, right? Okay, let me show you another example.
Plain, but the most common tea here is black tea and they put sugar and milk in it.
Can you hear that? Maybe not all the words, right? These examples show three things here. Number one, they are very familiar words, but you can't recognize them. But you can if they are written down, right? Number two, you listen to it many times, but you can't understand anything. Number three, even when you know the transcript, you still find it difficult to catch the speech. So why is that? The reason why you can't understand anything that the native speaker is saying is that they pronounce words differently from the way you pronounce. They say, most common to use black tea and they put sugar and milk in it. But you say, more common to use black tea and they put sugar and milk in it. You need to know that the nature of listening is the sounds. If you want to understand what someone is saying, you have to recognize the correct sound of these words. For example, if you want to understand and hear the word flower, you have to imitate its sound correctly. Like when a child at early age doesn't know any word spelling, but they still know, they still listen and speak because they listen, receive that sound into the brain, memorize the sound, imitate, and use. However, Vietnamese learners don't focus on pronunciation. Their bad habit is that they look at words when they are listening. Actually, you can't learn pronunciation from English spelling of words. Finally, what characteristic does English pronunciation have? And how different from Vietnamese pronunciation is it? I'm going to show you in the second video. Thanks for watching my videos. Feel free to leave your comments below. Goodbye for now.